Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Danny Show. I'm your host, Dan Cody, and this is where I give commentary and reviews on all things wrestling. And thank you guys so much for joining. Let's talk about tonight's episode of NXT. We had Jada Parker going one-on-one with Layla Diggs, not to be confused with the original Layla. But since Dig is this one's last name, we won't have a lot of confusion going on, thank goodness. But tonight, Layla Diggs went one on one with Jada Parker. Booker T was laughing because he didn't think Layla took Jada seriously. But I have to give Layla credit. When she avoided a clothesline by going for a backflip cartwheel with a combination of a back elbow, that was a thing of beauty to me. Of course, Jada won this match while Natty Neidhart was watching because Natty and Parker are having their own rivalry going on. And we could be seeing Parker and Natty in the ring at some point, which could be interesting. A bit more interesting if they do it right. It could be more interesting than Natty and Maxine Dupree. As far as Natty Diggs is concerned, I think she can do really well in NXT as well as WWE. Of course, I know she's supposed to be playing a heel, and she got some words of encouragement from LFG by Kevin Owens. So that's good. Kevin Owens knows everything he needs to know about being a heel, both in NXT and Ring of Honor. Both they both fought. They both saw Sami and Kevin Owens fight when Sami Zayn was wearing a Mexican mask. Of course, we also saw a confrontation with Tony D'Angelo and the evil one. I'll just call him the evil one. And he promised to protect Tony D'Angelo from everyone, which include Hendrix, who he has a match with next week, and Mason Rook, who is really over with the WWE NXT universe. And if there's anyone I am interested in right now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm only interested in Parker, the WWE champion, NXT championship story with Tony D, Mason Rook, and Narako. I need to see that match, which is why WWE has it where he's being protected by the number one contender. We saw a similar story with this man in the middle, The Undertaker, wanting to protect Stone Cold in 98 on the Summer Highway to Hell. We even saw The Undertaker promise to protect Batista, or did Batista promise to protect The Undertaker? Either way, they wanted to protect each other so that they can have a good match against each other for the World Championship. Just a fun memory from back in the day. Tonight, we saw Dark State explain themselves and explain their actions, but if you paid close attention to the near end of the show, I had a feeling something was going to happen at the end because Dark State explained their actions. They had an X by Sugar's name, then they attacked Trevor Heights and Miles Bourne backstage. They thought that they were about to end the show by bragging on themselves and talking about what they were going to do next week. I thought something was going to happen. I thought Sugars was going to drop something over their heads just to take out all three of them. But he was standing in the background on the top of the Performance Center building watching the show like Batman in the Night or like Sting in 97. Of course, we also saw Shiloh Hill defeat Dempsey from the... What's the group name? I keep forgetting the group name. Birthright, excuse me. Dempsey of Birthright fell short to Shiloh Hill through a roll-up tonight on NXT, and I believe his name is Tristan Angels, would challenge Shiloh Hill, who is a student of The Undertaker, to a pageant next week. What the helicopter are we doing? I gotta ask a fun question though. Well, I honestly know the answer to this. I highly doubt that this Shiloh Hill would hang with that version of The Undertaker. We saw the culling attack OTM before the match can even begin. We had the main event of Lola Vice versus Izzy Dame. It was good. You want to know what the last few minutes of the match really had me, to be honest. When Izzy went for that kick and Lola kicked out of that, I was I was at the edge. Then Lola went for a back fist and Izzy Dame, I don't think anyone has ever kicked out of that. No one, I don't think anyone has ever kicked out of the back fist. But then again, the referee was down, so that gave 3 seconds. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because you want to be careful how we do finishers. We want to make good matches, but we also want to protect finishers because if finishers get taken for granted, then it just it doesn't do the same, which is part of the reason. It's something about keeping finishing moves strong that made eras like Attitude and all the eras of our childhood special. So that when people actually did shake away those finishers, it meant something. So we want to be cautious of that. But tonight, the main event between Lola versus Izzy Dame was actually pretty good to me, if I'm being pretty honest with you. Izzy Dame and Lola really did good, and it took two to put two back fists to keep Izzy down, and Lola wins. Lola, Jada, and Kalani, who won her match against Ren Sinclair by submission, are some of my favorites right now. Even though Kalani's a heel, I consider her a likable wrestler to watch. But nonetheless, Lizzie Rain got her licks in on Zarya for getting involved and treating her like collateral damage backstage. But let me know your thoughts on tonight's episode of NXT. I'm your host, Daniel Cody. That's all the time I have for you today. And I'll be back with another review on all things wrestling. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And please check out my community posts. You'll find things there as well. Until next time, I'll see you. Have a great night and great week, everyone.